And when we talk about tourism business in Nigeria, it spans into the 36, even the FCT, in 30 states of the country, and of course the FCT, where you have tourism generating and also contributing to national development. Now, just last year, we understand that the revenue that was accrued from the tourism sector in Nigeria was, was large sum, was a large one. Now, but we've seen, recently whereby there are concerns that perhaps allegations, though, that some government agents are making some infractions into the smooth running of the tourism, particularly hotel business in parts of the country, even in Benin City. I mean, we saw some that we read on some of the national dailies how the FCC agents allegedly, making infractions into the smooth running of hotels in Benin City. Now, what is your take on this?
Well, once again, thank you very much for introducing this topic as well. Well, the impression that we are getting from business owners are getting from the anti-graft agencies, primarily the EFCC, is very disturbing and is a total threat to the economy. Is a total threat to the business industry. Um, Edo, I mean, in Edo, for instance, I'll narrow my reference to Edo here. In Edo, for instance, I think we don't need a rocket scientist to tell us that one of our major source of income here in Edo State lies in the hands of the hospitality industry. Edo is more like a civil servant state where there is no industries, where there is little or less industries, if I may. I stand to be corrected. But however, it is obvious to the general populace that the hospitality industry is one of the most thriving industry in Edo State and that deserve to be protected by the government and also be encouraged and promoted. In the states, like you did mention earlier, if you look at the primary source of income in Edo State, the hospitality industry have a lot of role to play and has played a lot of role in terms of contributing to the economy in Edo State. So it stands out. Now, these agencies are being paid uh, by by taxpayers. And how do you get this tax? You tax the companies, the business owners, in order for them to get paid. So, but the way and manner the EFCC has gotten themselves so addicted in, carrying out some certain operations that is not that is not legally guarded or bounded has taken a toll on the economy in Edo State, has taken a negative hit on the economy in Edo State, and that is why we, the business owners, took a step to call on all the relevant agencies to quickly intervene, to call them to order, because what they were doing at the point was in our own terminology was not legally guarded. Was contrary to the expectations from the business owners. I mean, dealing with crime is not what we discourage; it's what we encourage to ensure that crimes are being dealt with and the law take its course. I mean, we do not encourage any crime in in Nigeria, or rather in those states. Government agencies to actually do their job, but do it in a way and manner that is guarded by law. But if the agency, I mean, in the process of carrying out your legal duties, you are creating your own independent business to extract funds by defrauding the defrauders, then it become a concern business owners, because from our findings, obviously, it's clear that the way they were going about it was for their own interest, and in majority of the times by embarking on a plea bargain at the anti-craft agencies level, at the EFCC level. So we have called them, we have have some sort of meeting with them, and we've made ourselves very clear that they were managed, they were cracking down, destroying hotels, properties, and marching down their cameras, and that we take exception to that, and we totally condemn such acts, and with the strongest terms, that we will not stand to see that happen in our own state. And our state is becoming deserted of our youth. And not only that, our youth are getting indicted without proper investigation. And don't forget that um, these are all negative impacts to the youths of the state. So that is why we call on we did call on all the relevant agencies to intervene, and serious intervention has been injected in that sector. And we appreciate all the agencies that were able to get involved to this effect, most especially the Nigerian Bar Association Edo State Chapter, who actually wade into it to partner with BHSF to ensure that EFCC are called to order, and also the traditional palace where also send
Yeah,
to
Chief.
the national.
Yeah, Chief. All right. So you see, all we say all these allegations. I mean, that government agents, particularly the EFCC, swapping on hotels in Benin and raiding hotels. Because we're yet to even hear from the authorities of the EFCC. But let me quickly ask you. Good enough. You are the chairman of the Benin Hotelers Stakeholders Forum. Now, you tell us, what is your organization doing, maybe to assist government to get rid of criminals, in the states? Because we have a new government in Edo State today, Senator Mother Bebulo, that is so concerned about keeping lives and property, safe in the state. Now, there are indications that at times these criminals, hide in hotels in Benin City, parts of Benin City and all that. These are allegations too. So what is your organization doing in assisting government and governmental agents to ensure that criminals are also apprehended if really they hide in hotels in Benin?
Yeah, like I did mention earlier, we had the opportunity to have the dialogue meeting with the US, and we did spell out some gray areas where the hoteliers have their shortcomings, and also make it clear where the FCC agency, or where they have their shortcomings as well. And not only the EFCC, even the police and other agencies. Yes, what we are doing is we are now looking into. Don't forget that we recently started the BHSF. The BHSF is obviously a result driven. So what we are doing at this junction is to put some strategies in place to cooperate with the anti-craft agencies and other relevant agencies in terms of information sharing, um, by embarking on the mentality of know your customer strategies that we did discuss with the EFCC during the course of the dialogue meeting, and of which we are experiencing, a calm approach in the system now, for now, and we appreciate that energy from the, I said, anti-craft agency. But however, we've gone back to our drawing board. We are not saying that some of these, uh, you know, individuals do not occasionally, in some cases, are found in some hotels. So, but what we are saying is the way and manner they go about cracking them down should be professional and also should be done in a way and manner that you don't leave you don't destroy the business itself for you don't leave the business itself for catastrophic damage. So the only way we have been able to, what we have identified is, should this type of actions be, and should they be intended to take this type of crackdown action, they should cooperate with the business owners or the BHSF to help share information in a way and manner that should you be looking for an individual, just like the way it's done in a developed society. Should you be looking for an individual in a certain hotel, for instance, you partner with the hotel owners and get that individual out without necessarily disrupting others. But the idea of just going to arrest everybody in the hotel, including innocent people, that is unacceptable anywhere in the world. And I don't think there is any organization or business organization that is going to tolerate that. So that is why we cried out to say, look, this is not professional and this is not acceptable. But however, at this junction, where with the page we currently are now, is to also, review our steps as business owners to also, pay careful attention to the individuals that we are accepting into our hotels and set some certain standard, like I did mention, by knowing our customers in order to have the business premises secured and also to protect the interest of the society by not harboring any sort of criminals and ultimately to also share information with the authorities should there be any negative findings or any suspicious act in our hotel premises or our business premises. So that is sacrosanct for us. And I think, for the records, let's make it very clear. We protesting against, the actions of the AFCC does not necessarily mean that we don't condemn criminal act. Matter of fact, we do not harbor criminals and we do not support any criminals, and we will continue to support the authorities to do their job and actually get investigate and get criminals arrested. We will cooperate with them, and we've always been cooperating with them. But the
Beautiful.
difference is that there
Yeah,
has been a
beautiful.
gap
All right, so we'll
between
go for a
the
short break now, and when we return, we'll take the second lap of this discussion this morning. Please stay tuned. All right, thank you one more time. The program's still on your television, and we still have Chief Omogiade Inoyugeri Edokolo. He's the chairman of Business Hotelers Stakeholders Forum in Edo State and in Nigeria too. He has traveled the wide and a business, mogul in Nigeria. Now, Chief Omogade, now, thank God you've traveled a while, wide, globally and all that. Now, the way it's done in some other climes, hotelers, ensure that they know their guests too well. I mean, take a situation whereby a criminal is on wanted list. That criminal comes to a hotel, and the moment he tries to, come into that hotel, do some registrations, the formalities, and all that. Now, the moment the hotel authority gets its name, it pops up that this guy, this person is on the wanted list, is a criminal. Now, do you have such arrangements? Are you trying to, work on something like that so that you can also assist the government in fishing out criminals in the society?
Yes, that's what I did mention earlier. In the course of our dialogue meeting with the EFCC, we did also make this clear that KYC, know your customer strategy, is what we will be putting in place. So you can also agree with me that over the past decade, there has been new hotels that have sprung up in Edo states. And obviously, we're putting the database together And for the first time, we're actually doing a massive cooperation with one another in order for us to synergize and do one part, and also be speaking with one voice. And we've made substantial progress over the year to that effect. But these strategies that we are putting together is we see it as very sacrosanct in order to have information sharing strategy. I mean, in order for the relevant agencies to work efficiently, they need information, and they can only work with information. But again, we don't really see this as much of the problem. What we see as much of the problem of the pre-existing negative factors has been that the corruption between this whole process. Now there is, the hotels. There is, for instance, the EFCC, and there is the court. Now, if you have a clear, if you're embarking on a professional investigation and a professional crackdown on criminals. One would expect that the process is, as soon as you get hold of these guys, you do your proper investigation, and then the next thing, you charge them to court. But the idea of, you know, uh, just negotiating and getting some money off of these guys, and leaving some of these criminals back on the street again without actually taking them to court. It's some of our concerns, and that is what is also driving the uh, the unwanted kind of a crackdown, and the illegal crackdown part of it, because it's now becoming a business. And it's not just the AFCC, there are other agencies that are also embarking on this type of actions, and that has this type of mentality. So we're using this opportunity to advise and encourage them that, should you have this, should you get hold of a suspect, then you can investigate and take these individuals to court, rather than doing a plea bargain in your own office, rather than the court. The court is where you do plea bargain, and not in your own office. So, in a nutshell, we are ready, and we're working very hard. Like I did mention earlier, that there are new hotels and business centers that has not been captured into our database, and of which that we're working hard, and a lot of them are cooperating now by coming into our forum. As it stands now, we're approaching about 250 to 300 business owners in our database, as we continue to make progress. So we have set up strategies to attract more of them, most especially some of these businesses that are in the remote areas, so that we can also capture them in our database, and cooperate with this information sharing, and also embark seriously on this KYC strategy, because we've taken it very seriously at the same time. Because at the same time, in as much as we are also advising the anti-graft agencies to do their job professionally, at the same time, we also know that we have shortcomings as well. And those shortcomings is where we are working hard to ensure that we, block those loopholes, in order to not to create avenues to make the hotel premises criminal hideouts. We completely kick against criminals, or individuals who are embarking on criminal activities in our hotel premises. Now, another impression that is going out there that is highly condemnable is that we have heard, anti-graft agencies and the force authorities mention using terminologies like Edo Delta are one of the most fraudulent hubs in Nigeria. We totally disagree with that. That is not actually true. We disagree that that is a calculated attempt to paint Edo Delta as the most fraudulent dump. There are different states in Nigeria and even around the world. Every state has its own peculiar habits of crime. You can't take it away. The more society is developing, the more you begin to experience.
All right, Chief. Chief, because of time now. Now, I'm going to be asking the last question, maybe two questions in one. You talked about that you are looking forward to capture new entrants into your organization. Now, you tell us on this program this morning what it would take for new hotels in Benin, because the hospitality business in Benin is expanding, by the day. Now, you tell us what would it take new entrants to come into your organization. That's one question. Then, secondly, tell us what ways do you think the government can contribute into making your business safer, easier, and better in Edo State? Quickly.
Yes, number one, I mean, our standard of construction is very high security wise. And we do what we call identification profiling, just to make sure that these individuals have legitimate business in their various locations, and also you must meet the requirement of citing your business in a legal manner, a legal site in those states, and also profile to ensure that your business has not been in any sort of wanted or criminal list in the states. So these are the basic measures that we actually take in order to accept an individual into our organization net. Again, talking about the government support, what kind of support? Yes, there's a lot of support that the government can do to encourage businesses in
No.
those states. First,
Why the volume be like?
ensuring the security in those states, of which this government has been known putting security in place. I think we have seen over the months how hard the current government has played a role. In a scale of 1 to 10, I give him an 8 for his actions so far in terms of creating some security measures to protect businesses in those states, which is loudly. But at the same time, we also employ the government to do more in terms of encouraging businesses and partnering with businesses, because the success of every government lies in the growth of the economy, and the growth of the economy lies in the hands of the business owners. We're still yet waiting some certain proposals to the governor. We've written letters to the governor, but we're still yet to get some response to that effect, because we know that at this junction it is sacrosanct for the government to have some sort of meetings with us and look at the areas where we can partner, because we are willing and ready to partner with the government, any government of the day, to ensure that the economical part of the state is is in the apex, because as stakeholders in the state, the state is very valuable to us, and we're looking forward to that. So, but in a nutshell, we're still waiting for the government to call us, to call our attention in order
Okay.
for us to have this.
All right, Chief. I think this all time will permit us to take on the program today, and I want to thank you for finding time to join us on the program this morning, despite your very tight and busy schedule. We've been speaking with Chief Omogiade Inoyogeri Edokbolo. He's the chairman of Business Hoteliers Stakeholders of Benin and in Edo State here. And we'll be talking about hospitality business and all that it has to do with the business, and how allegations or how officials of the EFCC have been disturbing some hotels in Benin. And we also started by looking at the gamut of political defections in the country, and that seems to be a major concern as we glide towards the 2027 presidential election.